Hello and welcome to the Ask a BA series. This is lesson 6, the business analysis approach. What is the business analysis approach? Now, the business analysis approach describes the overall process that will be followed to perform business analysis work on a given initiative. It talks about how and when the task will be performed, the techniques that will be used, and the deliverables that should be produced. In other words, it talks about how you will carry out a particular business analysis task. This is a question that often comes up even when you go for an interview. And it's simply asking you, how will you work on a project if you are given that project? A summary of this business analysis approach is shown in this slide. Now, the first step is to analyze the organization. Analyzing the organization means analyzing the people, the processes, the technology, the security, the culture, the structure. It's about trying to understand the overall structure of the organization, the strategies, and trying to find the root cause of the particular problem you've been asked to look at. And then the next thing to do is to document the current state. In other words, once you've had an idea of what is going on in the organization, you now document the current state. You document the current state by using your Aziz approach, and you could use some techniques that involves rich picture, things that you can use to describe the current situation. Once you've done that, the next step is to elicit and document the requirements for a future solution. In other words, how can you help the organization move from point A to point B? And once you've done that documentation of the requirement for a future solution, the next step is now to try and pick out the best solution out of the different options that you have. And that solution that you select needs to be one that eliminates inefficiencies and optimize processes. In other words, it will be a solution that would improve and create a better state for the organization. If we break this summary further into other stages, we would look at it in the following process. The first step, which is understanding the problem situation and the organizational context. This you can take it to be a part of analyzing the organization, which is the summary part we mentioned in the previous slide. Now, understanding the problem situation, it means you are trying to find out what is the real problem you've been asked to come and solve in this organization. Oftentimes, problems are often poorly defined. Problems are complex. You need to understand the complete situation. And the way to be able to do this sometimes is to use things like rich pictures, like mind maps. In other words, you are trying to really understand what is this problem I have been asked to come and solve. Now, once you've done that, the next thing is to now document the current state. In this particular stage of business analysis approach, you can call it problem finding. So you are using the previous stage, which is when you've tried to understand the organization. You are using the knowledge from that previous state, the facts and the opinions and perspective you've gotten from people. You've used that to revisit the problem statement, and to find out where the real problem is. And once you found out where that real problem is, like I said in the summary, you start to document the current process, and you use tools like your Aziz process maps, your Ishikawa and diagram, also called the fish net diagram. Once you've done that, then you move on to your idea finding and solution options, which correlates with the eliciting requirements and documenting solution options. In finding ideas and solution options, you use brainstorming, you use interviews, you glean ideas from the users to be able to find out what the possible solution will be. You need to take note that in doing all of this, you should think about creating a high list of tasks to be accomplished, the timeline that it will take you to complete this project, the techniques that you would use. So will it be process modeling? Will you use cases? You should also be able to list the stakeholders that you need to consult in this particular project, and then the deliverables that you need to produce at the end of the project. And then it takes you to your solution finding. So from the previous state, when you've evaluated different solution options, you now start to streamline them and to bring out a particular solution that would help eliminate inefficiencies. And once you've come up with that solution, you can now present the solution. So if I recap on this in terms of your business analysis approach, it is simply the way you would deal with a problem when presented with a problem in an organization. And don't forget, like I said, it's a common interview question. And what they're simply asking from you in this kind of question, when they ask you, what is your business analysis approach? It is simply asking you, how will you deal with a problem that you are presented with in a project or in an organization? And it is basically you trying to understand the organization, understand what the real problem is, document the current state, use as-is diagrams, use rich pictures, and then come up with different solution options. You can do that from brainstorming, from working with stakeholders, come up with different solution options. And then you begin to streamline the solution options to a particular solution that would reduce inefficiencies. And you can present this to your business stakeholders. Thank you very much for listening. In our next video, we'll delve more into stakeholder analysis, because we just mentioned about listing your stakeholders. If you have any questions and any comments, drop it in the comment section. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, please think about subscribing. Want your questions, let me know areas that you would like more information on, and I would bring that to you. Take care and see you in the next video.